So wait, I pressed the play button, right? Please record.
Record button.
You press the record button, yes.
I am actively losing knowledge.
Dementia's really kicking in now.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Boris ready?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Good. Okay. Okay, then
Come on,
everybody.
Grandpa.
Let's go. Okay, then 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to GARcast, home of all manly media.
Hello and welcome to GARcast. We are back. It's the second episode in 1 year. We have more than one. Oh goodness.
Please ignore that one was a stream and on the fly.
Yeah.
We don't know when this one is gonna come out, so don't promise too much.
Depending on my editing speeds, we shall find out.
It could be out in 2027.
There's a couple lost GARcast episodes that I think got lost on the editing floor.
Yeah.
Like the Gamers Review is one of them. So.
Oh yeah, that is, I think, just 4 hours of unhinged rambling from both of us. Yeah, so the idea is the spooky month, October, has just passed, so we can talk about all the fun horror things we saw next to the real life horrors that are all around us. And the other stuff is just things we recently saw that probably either won't be in the year in review or just I feel like talking about this. So yeah, who wants to hit us off?
I'm trying to think what I can even start with.
I've got a couple things. I know Boris has got something that's probably actually horror related, which is the SMT5.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've spent the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks playing SMT5. It finally came out on PlayStation.
Ooh, nice.
It was Switch exclusive for like 2 or 3 years, which frustrated me greatly.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first SMT game since, I don't know, like the PS2 era that's actually out on a console and not a handheld, which is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Because my big grippers can't deal with handhelds anymore.
He's too huge.
I am too big. My back is bad. It's all fucked. I think I'm closing in towards the end game. I found the optional super boss last night and it beat my ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to actually do that one on this run, and I don't plan on doing a New Game Plus right away.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I am enjoying the game greatly. It's been the first time in a while where I wasn't actively thinking just about like this game is a thing to cross off of my backlog,
Mm-hmm.
but just completely engrossed in the game, enjoying it in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was still possible.
You found the joys of gaming.
And I like all these new systems they have in place where you can effectively take any demon and breed it to be a super weapon, no matter how low level it is.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a lot. They've gone to great lengths to facilitate that. So, I've been fusing all the Jack Bros and keeping them around for way longer than is probably advisable.
You played the little platformer side thing with the Jack Bros in it as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah. That was I think they did that for the 25th anniversary. They released some kind of. They announced like a Jack Bros Metroidvania game as a joke, and then a couple of weeks later they announced that it was actually a real game that was coming out.
As it happens.
And And it was like free, and it's only like 2 hours long, so I finished that in an afternoon.
Nice.
The Jack Bros are truly the only mascot characters I give a shit about. Just perfect design and like personality to actually be cute even for me.
Do you have them as like
Ye-
like a mascot with you, or just as like a regular team member who you can also talk with?
It's actually both now. They have this new system in SMT5 where some demons, specific ones you can find around the world, can just be as a companion who will look for like hidden items and shortcuts around the world, and they just run around with you.
Mhm.
And one of those is a Pyrojack, which I had for a while. And of
Nice.
course, yeah, in your party you can have just about anything. Um, Yeah, SMT is like still the best monster collecting franchise for me.
Mhm.
It's the original one, right? Like it predates Pokemon by like 10 years or something.
Oh yeah.
And
I have a
yeah,
question about that because I bought myself SMT5 on Switch and then never played it because I wanted to finish SMT3 first.
okay.
But that I also dropped, I think, because either Baldur's Gate happened or something else, and then I have like over 200 hours in that. Uh, but now that I also have a Steam Deck to like play on the go, is there like a big difference between like SMT5 Switch and SMT5 Vengeance, the new one? Is that like extra?
Actually, yeah, I think the difference is pretty big. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I actually only found this out quite a while into my playthrough. But the base version of SMT5 and SMT5 Vengeance have like SMT5 Vengeance has like a whole extra campaign that's
Mm-hmm.
like uh actually different to an impressive degree. I mean, it's sort of the same campaign, but it just like has a new set of main villains and new endings that are different from the base game.
Mm-hmm.
And certain side quests and demons, I think, are inaccessible in one version versus the other, and it's like a impressive amount of extra content. Um, I didn't realize this. I just picked the campaign that was for the re-release for Vengeance,
Mm-hmm.
which there's a lot of feedback online about this just being a better, more rounded story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't confirm. I haven't played the base one. Um, but yeah, seems to be pretty significant difference. Probably some gameplay rebalancing as well to, I don't know what was changed there,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a pretty extensive like patch notes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
So yeah,
Okay, so taking note, if I start SMT5, I will take Vengeance then probably for Steam Deck.
yeah, if you wanna like rebuy it.
Yeah, well, I think the other one is like still sealed. Does anyone need a copy? Or
Yeah, I mean, you can ship one across to me.
Christmas is soon enough, so you can just ship one to Tom.
Oh yeah, true.
What's the Santa Claus Jack Bro rather than ho ho ho? It's he.
It's ho, bitch.
He ho bitch. So, what was you posted a screenshot the other day of like one that was based off the protagonist, and he was going the whole see he's the means of production.
Oh,
Yeah, right. Um, yeah, that was one of those lines of dialogue where I'm not sure if it's in the original Japanese version, but it's still pretty funny. Yeah, it's a communist Jack Bro.
yeah.
Naho Biho is the name of it because the protagonist is Nahobino, and
Ah.
it's just a Jack variant that dresses like the protagonist. He talks in the side quest about how he basically made the costume himself and is trying to be like the protagonist.
Oh,
So
that's cute.
he's on my squad until the fucking end game, baby.
Best bro locked in. There he is.
Yeah, it's like 2 additional slots I can switch around demons in, and then this one is just there forever.
Nice.
I mean, that can kind of feed into something that I was going to bring up, which is quite fun. You know, imitating and taking roles. I recently watched All About Eve. I'm 70 years late to this film, as per usual. Tom's way behind the trend.
I've not seen it. You are A-okay.
And like all good things in life, I watched it because there was a women's wrestling angle on AEW that went on for several months that was based on All About Eve, and I was like, well, I liked the wrestling angle. I should probably watch the actual film. And yes, the actual film was very good. I can see why they chose to use it as a base. Yeah, sort of. It's basically all the story of this woman Eve who manages to sort of worm her way into the position of assistant and then understudy of this sort of like aging actress on the way out, who's, you know, gone a bit soft. You know, she doesn't have the age anymore. She's got an easy life, and then yeah, it's just sort of this position sort of being slowly unwound as Eve like manages to sort of like sneak herself into more and more opportunities. It's probably, you've probably seen something inspired by it, or I think I read something briefly, like it was inspired by like a classic series of like American magazine stories, so there's probably a lot of things based on it worldwide, I'm guessing. I've not looked too deeply in it because I only watched it the other day. But yeah, it was my goal to try and watch some old films this year, and this one fit because I'm a nerd that likes wrestling.
Okay, I just checked Wikipedia really quickly because I have not heard All About Eve a lot. I think it's probably more around in like the English movie sphere.
It's definitely like a American kind of story, like this this like kind of betrayal is very American media.
Yeah, and I just found an interesting tidbit that I never heard of. Apparently, the German dub from Ultrafilm Synchron from in Munich was written by Erich Kästner. And Erich Kästner is like one of the like prime like political satire, children's books, poetry guy. And it's like, oh,
It
okay.
definitely has like a funny angle, so I can see why.
Yeah, and it says and it also has a quote. It says it was the only dub script he ever did because he didn't want to do this torture again. It's like, okay, yeah, you got one of our best like contemporary writers from the 50s.
From the climax of the wrestling story. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he said nope. Noped out after that. Oh yeah, we can show that on screen. That is run us through here. What are we looking at?
Okay, so I guess the girl who's cradling her is Mariah May. She's the Eve in the story, and you can sort of see it coming for a long time. She was styling herself to be the protege of the woman with the blood on her face, Tony Storm here. Tony Storm basically had a psychotic break and styled herself as this golden age Hollywood actress, this larger than life figure. And through that, like, she was able to sort of like win the belt as this like comedy character that sort of people didn't like for a start, and sort of became more and more over until it became like an actual character here. That's like, yeah, this is the climax. So it's kind of hard to explain it out of context. Yeah, so she always had this. She's a heel, so Underhand Detective was like using her shoe, like watch out for the heel, ha ha ha.
Oh,
you know,
yes,
I'm
that's
you
a
know
joke.
like cheesy joke, and then that was the point. Like Mariah May has just won this big trophy to give her a shot at the title, and she's attacked her mentor. She is now the, watch out for the heel, ha ha ha.
Yeah, I get it. I mean that sounds really really cool.
Yeah, I realize explaining wrestling storylines in post is like kind of weird because there's like, yeah, I can't really like run through a 30-minute wrestling match right now.
I mean, I have
Yeah.
the videos of dear John Wolf, who explains wrestling storylines, and those are super interesting. And also, just on a
Yeah,
tangent,
I mean I think the unfortunate thing for his videos, he does a whole thing on like the Bloodline saga and Roman Reigns.
so me, you cut out there on the Bloodline saga, and
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, unfortunately for John's video, the Bloodline stuff is still going on. It's
oh,
still dragging its feet.
okay, good. Then I look forward to the next one that explains the continuation.
Yeah, what were you saying? Sorry, I must have talked over you there.
Just that regarding wrestling, I can go on a tangent that I saw the Vince McMahon, or the Mr. McMahon Netflix
Oh,
documentary.
yeah, that's a Halloween-worthy documentary.
Yeah, it's more also an introduction to like wrestling history of how it started with the different territories, and then you have what was it, WWF, who then had to change their
Yeah,
name due to the
the
panda,
World Wildlife,
yeah,
World Wildlife Fund. Yeah,
those guys. But also the like Monday evening rivalry
Yep.
with Raw.
With WCW, yeah,
WCW, yeah.
Monday Night Wars, and now Raw is a WWE show that's on every Monday.
Yeah, and then that sort of got brought up by them. But yeah, I think it explains some more about like American society, but also politics. Because there's like a shocking amount of like, oh yeah, we just gave the people what they wanted to see, and then it's like rampant phobia of many a thing. It's like, yeah, people just want to see that stuff, and because the things that are melodramatic will sell. It's like, oh, help. But yeah, I can definitely recommend that one just to get like an insight of like how things came to be that way, and then we will just have to see
Yeah,
nowadays where it just continues on.
yeah. I mean, if you are sort of at all into wrestling, this is stuff that gets sort of explained to you fairly early on by people. Like, it's
Hmm.
not too shocking if you're into it at all. And I would say it's still probably a bit too charitable to Vince McMahon.
Hmm.
Like, it sort of falls into, I guess, carrying on the theme of like this American story of like, well, he did this horrible thing, but he was a great man. He did it all. He really made it all himself, which is a lie and not true. But like, it's this idealism that everyone sort of seems to hold around him. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, I feel like I think the one letterboxd review I saw is like, yeah, basically everybody has daddy issues in in this whole world.
Yeah, the one person that's not like lying to you at all the whole time is Dave Meltzer, which is
Mhm.
quite fun. He's like a real interesting character if you get into wrestling, but he's fairly controversial, I guess, with
Mhm.
fans because he like rates wrestling matches and reviews them, and he's got a specific taste. And of course, people don't like it that he doesn't like their matches, their favorite matches, etc., etc. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but that just on the tangent. That was a documentary I saw recently, and that also was like very informative. Like I think I have now more basics to like understand wrestling, or at least the culture and history behind it.
mm.
Okay, who has some more? If not, then I will come out with the Yakuza Amazon series.
Tell me about the Yakuza Amazon series. I'm curious.
Yeah, so Amazon and their own MGM studios, or the Amazon MGM, they published their own Yakuza TV series. It's 6 episodes. The last batch of 3 episodes came out yesterday from the day of recording. And yeah, it's I think I posted before about it that it's like, yeah, it does a few things differently. You have your basics. You have your Kamurocho, you have your Kiryu, Nishiki. It's basically running through the events of the first game, and completely ignoring Yakuza 0. It is sort of it's its own timeline of things that it does, which is something I'm completely fine with. I am still a big lover of the Takashi Miike Yakuza movie, the 2005 one. It's so camp, all over the top.
I still
it's
see people
great.
post the Majima standing halfway through the wall with the eye patch,
Yeah.
blocking his eye.
I
People
love
still
it.
post that all the time. Yeah.
It's great, and that's just one of its moments. There are so many more that I'm just so happy with, like Majima, like in that movie, Majima performing a heat move on somebody, just smacking a baseball in his face that spins in his face and just sears off his forehead, and other funny bits. Also, apparently, I found out some people complain that in that movie, Majima's eye patch is on the wrong side. Which is true. I think he wears it on the left instead of the right, which apparently has something
I
to
would
do.
know. I don't pay enough attention to stuff like that.
Yeah, it is. But apparently, that the reason for that is that the actor is visually impaired on the other eye. Then, if he would wear it correctly, he would not see anything. So it's like, yeah, sorry, we have to put it like on the eye that's like actually visually impaired. Okay, yeah, sure, do it.
They should fix it in post. Just mirror every scene with him.
Yeah.
Mirror him down the middle to give him two functional eyes. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, with my background of loving the movie, I went into the TV series, and well, first of all, it has like a funky structure that we are looking at 2005 and 1995 at the same time. Like, we're jumping from one time to the other. One is like before Kiryu, like how he went into prison, and then how he got back out 10 years after and the fallout of that. But sometimes you really have to keep track of like, okay, where are we now? Because we are going forward in both times, but we're still jumping between them. Sometimes thematically, of like, yeah, the person's dying over here, then back 10 years back, that was also something terrible that happened, yada yada. My problem with this series, well, let's start with the positives first. The sets, the lighting, the character designs, great, fantastic. It looks how I want a Yakuza TV series to look. It's great. Like in set designs and also choosing costumes for people. The character faces, there are some like Japanese actors that just look how they're supposed to look, and I'm very happy about that. The other problem that I have is it introduces like 3 original characters, all of them women, who are some of the sisters that apparently were at the same time that like Kiryu and Nishiki were in the orphanage.
Women in the Yakuza series.
Yeah.
That's
And
Don't want that.
They just invented women. That's
they invented women. Goddamn.
I don't want this series to be heterosexual. Like, that's too much. Sorry.
Yeah.
Women are only there to teach me heat moves, and that's it.
Yeah. They're supposed to dropkick me. Just tell me funny hostess stories. Yeah, and the problem is that I just really don't care about them. It's a little bit hard to say, but yeah, one of them is like a sister kind of to Nishiki. The other one is the little sister, and then there's like an asshole sister that lives in Osaka, who then also turns out to be Haruka's mother. So Haruka is also here.
Sure.
So yeah, so that makes like technically Kiryu's step uncle of Haruka or something, whatever. Yeah, but I did. Episode 1 to 3 is like very nice. We have like your Majima moment. Sejima is there too. I'm happy to see him, but he dies after 2 minutes of screen time.
What?
Yeah, he's just gone. He's like poof. It's like, okay, I was looking forward to seeing you around, but no, he's gone.
To be fair, this is the Yakuza series. No one dies for real.
No, he's probably with rubber bullets somewhere. Who knows?
Those were rubber bullets all along.
Yeah, but he dies off screen and then is pronounced dead, and Majima gets his eye poked out for something completely different. Yeah, the story involves also around it's not mentioned that it's not the empty lot, but they need a signature or like a Hanko sign stamp from someone to get the territory where the Millennium Tower is supposed to be built. But yeah, it's like, and then 10 billion yen gets stolen by the asshole sister, and we have to get it back because the Omi Alliance is mad. But that somehow like takes so much time, and who are these characters? Like, Majima only appears in like 2 episodes out of 6. Sejima is hacking dead. Nishiki is just being around, being all sinister on the phone. Kiryu is being Kiryu. And also we have a mad group of demon lads running around who shoot people and put pentagrams on people's chests. I feel like this script is a bit convoluted. We should cut that back a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
we need to do
perfectly
our
in
first
line with
draft,
the
yeah.
game stuff.
Yeah, it's like one main story, like 3 sub-stories in all in one. But yeah, I think I'm fine with the TV series, but I feel like it doesn't really show what I like about the series if I would show this to someone who doesn't know the series at all. Because like I'm here for the funny lads, the funny sub stories, the rampant homoeroticism that we had to somehow also include because Majima is there for just one scene, but then also give Kiryu a somewhat heterosexual love interest.
I think the gays get one scene.
Yeah, you just get one. Of like,
This is fucked because like Kiryu doesn't know what sex is.
no, he's a canonical virgin. We all know that. Yeah, so it feels like a little bit like we have to introduce this in order to make this more mainstream. But then again, the movie exists, and that does fine. Of course, the movie has like its own problems with. I think if you're not very much into that, there's like a Korean hitman who has his own storyline. There is a couple who steal a gun who have their own storyline. But for me, that always felt like, yeah, that's Kamurocho as like a character of like what's going on also in the city, and then all of these stories also then start crossing over. Like Kiryu visits the weapons guy, then a couple visits the weapons guy, yeah, and then the Korean guy saves the couple one time. So and it also plays it all in one night, so that's great. But the TV series is like, yeah, we were jumping like 10 years back and forth. Also, we are continuing forwards and introducing all of these side characters that I'm not super interested in. Yeah, so
Yeah.
It's fine. I would say it's fine.
The thing with Yakuza is you need the like domestic stuff to like really come through. Like everyone has the experience of playing Yakuza and then just doing side games for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like there is like intrinsic domestic stuff. Like I don't know how you really truly adapt Yakuza unless you're just doing like The Sopranos, but with with Yakuza characters, which is obviously like a commitment that no streaming service is going to have because they need their big like tentpole like streaming giant that you just wouldn't get from like his like an episode that is like practically a bottle episode. Kiryu's just like playing baseball for the day. But you would need that because how are you truly like adapting Yakuza? If you want to be like adapt Yakuza properly, like you need that weird side tangent stuff. So it's like, yeah, if you're gonna have the core story, that's why like the Miike movie like is perfectly serviceable as an adaptation because it's like here's the core story of Yakuza 1. Like yeah, you miss out on the wider what makes the city so cool, but like if you're gonna make a Yakuza movie, if you're sane, you're just making it about Kiryu.
Yeah. That I absolutely agree with. Yeah, like even the movie has like a few little side quests that I love. Like he picks up Haruka and Shiba Inu, and it's like, okay, how do we get food for the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like go ahead, go funny little doggy. I love that he talks to like one of the like male hosts, the Stardust guys who are like his informants, and like Haruka goes, "Oh yeah, he's like a fun guy. I find him really cool." And then Kiryu goes like, "That man is not for you." Like that is cute. Like I love that. Yeah, so I think overall the Yakuza TV series serviceable, but I feel like I don't want to rewatch that like anytime soon. Or like it doesn't really have like a staying power for me, or just give me like a Majima compilation on YouTube. I don't know, for all of the 10 minutes combined that he is in there, and the 20 seconds of Sejima.
I think that's like a running trend with these Amazon shows. Like I know people who love like Wheel of Time say that the Amazon Wheel of Time show is very much like, yeah, it's serviceable and like it's largely fine, but I'm not going to go back to it.
Yeah.
And I don't think like Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings show, is like particularly memorable for a lot of people. What I've spoken to about it is like, basically, it's like, I guess it's fine, but like I'm not going back to it. And it's like the most expensive. They wanted to make like the most expensive show of all time or something, but they were doing it. So
whoops,
just pissing money away for like
no reason.
I love expensive slop, brother.
Yeah.
For the Rings of Time,
we've got so much money. Just to say, we've got so much money.
Yeah,
you just spend it on something. Why not slop?
Yeah,
why not slop?
The interesting thing is with Ring of Power is that I have not touched it, but from what I see, I was put off by the trailer for one reason alone, is that none of the men have long hair. Like all of them have short hair, like even the elves, and that is already heresy. That's heresy. Like, no, send in the Space Marines. Just no, cleanse that. No, long hair for all the men. And the other guy is one of my friends. Like I often go to cinema with. Like he watches the Rings of Power. And he told me in one sentence that like, no, don't watch it. It's basically fan fiction because in season 2, Galadriel has already started an affair with Sauron. I was like, okay, no, just don't. Okay, good. I've all the information I need.
Like it's a fool's errand to begin with to try and make a Lord of the Rings show that isn't like based on the books, and even then it's like, you know, if you're trying to take stuff from Tolkien's notes to make a show, that is like an insane prospect to me. Like what are you doing? You're making like, you know, that you're starting from the ground up in more ways than you begin to understand. Like if you're not making a show based on the book Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, like you've got to like make up some bullshit because it's just like, you know, like obviously he was one of a kind writer, but he just had too many notes of just stuff. And I think a lot of people go, oh, we should adapt more Tolkien stuff, and they go into that and it's like, oh, it's like random bits of history that isn't like a story. Like it's not a, like, you know, it's barely a mythos. It's just like, yeah, this is like a chronicled history of Middle Earth, not like a narrative, not a like, not a compelling story. It is notes, and that is like the big trapping of being like, oh, we'll fill in the gaps, and you have to just make up stuff because it's not a story. Like his son obviously like put together a bunch of notes into stories, and I know those have like mixed reception among people who are like really into deeper Lord of the Rings stuff, but like yeah,
those the stuff his son put together are just like they're much drier. They're like much harder to read. Like they're not the same. Like if you're into the world, you're going to get a lot of lore,
Yeah.
that you like and enjoy, and this is your own special kind of slop that you want. But if you're like trying to read it because you liked the books, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be a reason that not many people read the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's just too big.
Too dry.
I mean, on the
But
positive
we're getting
side,
like 2 more. Oh, sorry, you first.
I don't know, I just want to say on the positive side, there's a movie coming out that I'm looking forward to, which is the movie or series. I don't know.
There's like 2 movies. Peter Jackson is like doing 2 new
okay.
movies.
Yeah, the animated one, the War of the
yeah.
Rohirrim. Yeah, because that is from the I think Ghost in the Shell standalone complex guys from Production IG.
I don't know if I knew that. That's cool.
Yeah, and that looked really good. Like, I like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I'm fine with like a Japanese type of animation jumping in there doing high fantasy. That's good.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's like The Hunt for Gollum or whatever the working title is. There's a new in the works that. Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm just thinking about that Golem game that came out.
The Gollum
years
game. God, that Gollum game was.
What a delightful little game. It looks so bad.
I need Peter Jackson to stop fucking around with that shit and like release the Braindead 4K restoration.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he needs to stop like funding like weird like Wellington politicians and start making films again.
But he needs to start specifically making like horror comedies again that cost like $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would just give him, if he said he was doing it, people would just give him stuff for free.
Like, I mean, also with the means that Weta workshops now have, I think you can do some bonkers horror stuff with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that reminds me of the one spooky movie that I wanted to talk about, but I think Alistair, do you want one? I think you didn't have one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've just watched a bunch of horror movies. I'm trying to think what is like immediately interesting. Oh, I watched one that was been on my like why haven't you watched this yet list for a while is Penda's Fan by Alan Clark, which was there was like a old BBC serial on TV called Play for Today, which is just like separated like TV movies essentially.
Mm-hmm.
They're still on iPlayer and like BBC. If you can look them up quite easily and get them. Mm-hmm. They like kind of cycle which ones they have available. But Alan Clark, big like 70s director, lots of very quite cynical views of Britain. Funnily enough, if you were making any kind of commentary in the 70s, like lots of stuff about like like youth rebellion and like welfare and all that sort of stuff. Lots of Thatcher stuff, but like Penda's Fen is like a horror movie that was part of this Play for Today series, all about this teen who's in like military academy who has these very like lofty like desires of like philosophical desires and stuff, and it's all about him like coming to terms with, oh, I'm like a homosexual guy. How do I process this as someone who absolutely has like underlying bigotry like inside me, as a precocious like 14-year-old in Britain, in rural Britain. But like it's kind of like constantly insane, like the BBC just let Alan Clark make this. There's so much stuff, like there is a straight up direct reference to the like 40s Kenneth Anger movie Fireworks, which is about like a bunch of soldiers having sex. Like,
My goodness.
It's like it's an insane thing to get on TV, but it is like incredibly powerful. Like, there's so much really cool imagery. It's like got that haze of like, like dream logic, and it's a really interesting watch. And like everyone I know who's seen it is like, oh yeah, this is like this is like the best thing that's ever been on British TV, and they are correct. That yeah, I need to go and like dig into some of the Play for Today stuff, because I know there's like also other really highly regarded ones. Back when the BBC cared about like actually putting stuff out on TV that was worth watching.
Ah, the good old days.
Well, the 70s.
We're getting Sherlock back. We're getting Sherlock back.
Oh no! Who let Moffat in?
Well, I was looking at something recently, and it was I put it onto my list because it was another British film about sad gays, which was With Nail and I.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to say I just checked on Letterboxd Panda's fan, and the poster is a vibe of scary wooden mask. The devil guy?
Yeah, it's like the devil sitting on your chest image. It's like that. That's what it is. Yeah, there's not a lot of like scary imagery in it, like in the sense of there's a demon. But that's like the big one of like.
Yeah, and on top, like I imagine our sad gay protagonist sitting in a field with like just a golden angel spawned next to him.
Yeah.
It's like poof, there he is. So yeah, I understand it. As somebody who also went through Catholic on the German side upbringing, and then not turning out that way, I understand it.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'd never heard about this movie, so I'm happy to hear down about this.
And on the topic of horror that was made for British TV that's really good, there's another series. I don't remember what the name of the series actually is, but it's by Lawrence Gordon Clark, another 70s TV thing. Another like short series of like kind of ghost stories. They're all relatively good, but the one that like stood out to me is called The Signalman. Which is about like a back in the days when there was a guy who was monitoring the railway tunnels and like all of this stuff. Guy who he's just the guy who mans that, and he's getting like troubled by this vision of someone on the tracks getting like either hit by the train or they're going to get hit by the train at some point. It's just like this like paranoia he has, and it's a mostly 2-person like 40-minute short about like unpacking that, and it's also got that kind of Penda's fan like dream logic haze over it, but it's it's very it feels very much like a picture of 70s Britain in that like rural Britain, in that way of just like oncoming turmoil and just being like haunted by like constant fear. Really, again, a really impactful for like a 40-minute thing, like really good. I definitely recommend that one.
Okay, good. Then yeah, I would love to take a look at that. Like,
like any of those, like I've only seen 3 of the Lawrence Gordon Clark mini episodes. There's A Warning to the Curious, which I saw a while back. I don't really remember. I remember it being good. I don't really remember much about it. And then I watched Lost Hearts, which is about like an orphan who goes to live with his like geriatric cousin in like a big stately manor, And then he starts seeing the ghosts of two kids who previously lived in the house with the old man. And you can probably see where that story is going. But yeah, that's also a really good one.
Okay.
Like not as like compelling as the Signalman, but another like good spooky one. But yeah, I need to get on this stuff. They used to make good stuff for British TV, as I said. A Ghost Story for Christmas. I think that might have been what they were called.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to say, I'm just looking at the letterboxd profile of Lawrence Gordon Clark. That looks like a vibe.
Yeah,
cool. Also, there's a spooky movie called Monkey Boy. Right in the
Monkey
middle
Boy,
there.
yeah, that has the same poster as a movie called Chimera, like just above it. So I don't know, I don't know what the deal is here.
Monkey Boy.
Maybe one. Okay, one is like twice as long. I don't know what this is.
Okay.
But that's a good poster. So I need to add that to the list of really stupid posters they've got on that box.
Oh yeah, that's
Is this related to Monkey Man in any way?
I don't know, but it should be.
It's a prequel. Okay, yeah, I definitely need to look at that. Like best movie posters on this website.
Occasionally they change them. I've got to like remove them from the list, but
I'm glad there's still good lists on Letterboxd.
thing is, I'm not paying however much it is to be able to like change the movie posters manually. So like, I'm fully at the whim of the people who can like alter what the top TMD poster is for certain movies.
Okay, nice. Okay, if we want to stay with good unhinged horror movies, I have one.
Ooh.
That recently released, and I was put into the cinema without any previous knowledge, and it was A Blast, The Substance, with Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Which is, apparently it was like hyped beforehand. I didn't hear about anything before. But that was a da good fun horror movie with the very gnarly body horror that I have not seen like this in quite a recent time. Especially because lots of it is physical. Like some of the costumes, I think Demi Moore in an interview said needed like up to 6 hours to put on. So it's like, yeah, this is like even like a physical proper performance by her. I can give you. I love that the story is probably explained in like 2 sentences, but that is like the kind of the horror that I like sometimes. It's like, yeah, with Miss Demi Moore, like in the movie, is a aging actress who recently turned, I think, 60. And her show on the TV is like a yoga, like morning exercise show, and like the evil broadcasting guy, who's also called Harvey, which is very unsubtle, but it makes sense. Says like, yeah, the actresses like pass their time, and then it's like time for you to go. Like we retire you, and she of course is absolutely distraught. Yeah.
Nothing about this movie is subtle in the least.
No. And
Which is
I love it.
Totally fine.
Yeah, this movie is as subtle as a brick to the face, and I need that sometimes. It's fantastic. Like the basic gist is she gets into a car accident. A guy slips her like a message that she could have a younger body again by something called the substance. But it's not quite properly explained first. It's just like, yeah, you will get a younger self that you can inhabit for 1 week, or I think like up to 2 weeks, but then you have to switch back to your old one. So basically like having a spare younger self that you can use and swap between. Of course, that already gets into like a good old body horror, because turns out that your younger self has to be born from your previous one, but it comes out through your spine. So yeah, we're not going for the obvious pregnancy image. We are just going like through, just break open your back literally to just get the younger self out of yourself. And of course then the younger self has to take care of the older one. But you are still the same person that you can swap between. And what that brings, like in my opinion, is like a mix of either Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or probably more poignant, like a Picture of Dorian Gray imagery, where you have like a self of you at home that you don't want to look at, but have to revisit. Because she notices that when she's her younger self, that she also takes on her old job, but as young, and now fresh, spunky, early 20-year-old yoga instructor. That is like borderline porn on television with like close-ups of ass. And then she notices like, she feels like a disconnect between her older self and herself. Because like, she's doing all of this, or the younger self is just splurging all of my money, and like, and the substance guys tell her message is like, no, you are still the same person. Don't think of your older or your younger self as somebody else. Like, it is all you. So there's like a psychological, like funky stuff going on that does the body self form your mind or how you think. And then it goes completely off the rails. Like, their movie's like longer than 2 hours, and you think, oh, okay, we have definitely gone all over the themes that you can do with this. Like, no, we're going further. And I was having such a blast in the cinema. Like, oh god, there was people gasping, there was people screaming. I was laughing my ass off. It goes places. I had a good time.
If anyone is familiar with Brian Usner, that third act goes there. Friend of the podcast, Brian Usner.
Yeah.
The third act is pretty reminiscent of some of his work.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely what's got me really interested in it. People saying like, oh, it's like Cronenberg. It's like, yeah, but like a lot of things are like quote unquote like Cronenberg, but like not a lot of things are like Brian Usner. So like that's that's very like exciting.
Yeah, I think it has more of a like kind of vomit and piss and shit approach.
Yeah.
Cronenberg is just sort of the name that you have to mention anytime anything remotely body horror happens anywhere.
It's like obligated, but it also like it doesn't mean much. It's like someone saying, I mean, it's not quite like someone saying something's Lynchian, but it's like in that similar ballpark where it's like, you saying that because there's like gore, or you saying that because like it's actually like meaningfully Cronenberg. Like I just watched Crimes of the Future the other day. Like not a lot of things are like Cronenberg. He's like doing shit.
Not even Crimes of the Future is a lot like some of the older Cronenberg. So
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I had a blast because every time I thought, we have looked at this topic already of like, especially the pressure of like being put on women to always look sexy and young, or the like disconnect between does body shape the mind, or just wanting to be young in like a world that celebrates that. But yeah, it goes even further. Like every time I thought, okay, we have done that. Like no, it goes more, and that was something that I really missed in a long time, of just a movie going places where I didn't even expect it to go. And that was a mighty old time. I think The Substance is one of my favorites this year.
Those are the lads.
Oh, wait, does it still have it loading?
God, what's Screaming Mad George up to these days?
Goodness, yeah. I remember that.
Guys,
I wonder if this can be the thumbnail of the podcast.
Yeah, we can put it in there.
It's not like we can get demonetized.
No.
You could put like the Jack Frost face in the middle there. I'm trying to think of what else is relevant. You can put SpongeBob's face, and we can make it a magic podcast. Those are doing numbers on YouTube at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
help! That's the real horror.
Yeah, what's going? I keep hearing shit about magic. What's going on now? Is it just like tie-in shit?
They're trying to ruin Pioneer just as I was getting into the format. Fucking hell.
They're killing the game.
Yeah.
That
Streaming
sounds
it live at
intelligent.
big events.
Sounds like a very intelligent business decision.
Yeah.
I think we should throw out like half of our world building and just replace it with like crossover slop and make the game into like
Right.
Fortnite.
Yeah, that was the big announcement of like saying that half of Magic won't be Magic. That we should release like if we release 3 sets of like Magic as Magic, like I don't know where we visit like one of the worlds, we should also release the same amount of crossover stuff. So I think the plan they showed was like 3 sets of like normally beloved things, but then also there's like Marvel happening and Transformers, and there's a new SpongeBob secret layer coming.
Yeah, it's probably more because like I'm not a huge fan of the secret layer or like universes beyond concept, but like I know a lot of people like them, and I'm obviously not a huge Magic player, so it doesn't really matter what I think. But I think when you start to do 3 sets per year, you just sort of like, no, we're going to run out of good stuff, and we're going to start to get to like slop eventually.
Yeah. But like the tie-in cards, they're not like new. They're like just like skins for like existing cards, right? They're not like new.
No, that's what it used to be, and now it's like
that's what they promised that initially and then broke it immediately.
Oh, okay.
It's all new stuff.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, they did like a Walking Dead card that was like mechanically unique.
Okay.
And that was like that was years and years ago now, and like it's just
I wish they could at least stick to crossovers with franchises that are not explicitly set on like Earth. Like at least something that's like vaguely passes as sort of Magic adjacent. If you're not familiar with what it's crossing over, like Warhammer and Lord of the Rings kind of works, but like fucking Marvel and Walking Dead is stupid.
Yeah, these are also the decks I have because Lord of the Rings makes sense, and like Warhammer in a sense as well. Like also mechanically it's fun. But the rest is like, I mean, the Baldur's Gate 3, like D&D stuff, that also makes sense. I'm fine with it. I got the secret layers of Astarion and Karlach because I like them.
Yeah.
But
at least
it's like so free. Like it's basically the same stuff. Like
that's their thing. Like it's Wizards of the Coast at least, so you could just pass it off as it being another plane of Magic if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Like I'm fine with that, but the new stuff that is coming is like I'm just getting the one Wolverine card because he's shirtless, but that's just me.
It's interesting because like I was reading the Doctor Who cards when I was at Boris's. I was like, these are interesting, and then when I went to Alan's, I was reading the whole deck. I was like, someone that thought they were really fucking clever made these decks, and they were too clever. Like there's too much going on.
Oh yeah, we played some of my commander decks against each other, and some of them were fun. We played Necrons and I think Chaos. The Lord of the Rings ones. I played one of my dwarf decks, which was very fun. But I remember you looking at my 10th Doctor commander deck, which has a lot of suspend stuff.
And the time warp stuff and all that. Yeah.
If you travel time, you can like pass turns to remove suspend counters from things, which makes sense if you have a character who can travel through time. Like he places something that is supposed to go off in 3 turns, but you can cheat it out like in 1 turn, something like that. But you look at those cards and you think, I'm not reading all of that. Give me the fun Hobbit deck that has food.
And I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I'm saying I'm not reading all that. Like,
Yeah, yeah, we just don't get any vanilla creatures anymore. Like they keep printing text on cards. It's pretty fucked up. I don't like it.
Yeah, stop it.
Um,
That's why I turned to Pioneer. Good old Siege Rhino. Got my 4
Siege
copies
Rhino,
next to
baby.
me.
The
One
menace.
keyword, one line of text. That's enough, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
4/5 for 4. Trample. Lose life, gain life, baby. All that matters.
Oh yeah. What more do you need? Except in the big rhinoceros.
Nothing. It is so refreshing playing Pioneer and you play a Siege Rhino on the board and it's like, and everyone's like, ah, fuck, that's a problem. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to be playing a game where Siege Rhino is like an immediate like, oh man, I got to deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I just play kitchen table at the moment. It's just like I have Commander decks. Do you want any? Sometimes I meet up with my group, but not enough time at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just Commander, like for me, and the occasional draft on Arena.
Oh, yes.
That's plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Although obviously the stance of everyone around with the Universes Beyond stuff is like I am extremely hypocritical if it's a franchise that I like. So if they do Universes Beyond with like Elden Ring, I will immediately fold. But everything else is shit, obviously.
Yep. I mean, that was mine in the Junji Ito one. I was like, yeah, of course I want funny, the black and white Junji Ito cards.
Yeah, but that's just like Junji Ito doing art for like it's not a crossover with Uzumaki or whatever.
Yeah, it's like him drawing an Elish on something. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, topically we could talk about the Uzumaki anime as well because that's a whole can of worms.
God. Has somebody seen all of it? Because I am missing the last episode.
I watched 2 episodes and that's all I've seen.
I've seen none of it, and I'm curious about the feedback of like the state of production values in that series.
Good. Who wants to start?
I liked episode 1. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, episode 1 is great. It has all the things you want. It has the black and white style. It has a mix of traditional animation and rotoscoping for like some of the like, funkier style. But I like that you cannot see that it is rotoscoped. Like it keeps the Junji Ito character design like very firmly on. Also, to see some of this stuff like animated, like really makes it more eerie, especially with the soundtrack by forgotten his name, Colin Stetson.
Colin Stetson,
yeah. Who also did famously Music of the Lighthouse. Yeah, the music together with the black and white anything, great stuff. Really happy about that. How the first episode came out. Then the second episode hits. And we are, I don't know.
We are doing Inferno Cop animation.
Yeah, it's Inferno Cop time, or more like it's Jank 3D time, because there's like maybe a clip you have seen of like a couple running over the beach, and it's like you can just see that these are like 3D models being moved over a screen. It looks so out of it. Also, you see that the rotoscoping is gone. Like, what I liked about the first one is that they put so much effort in like people just saying one or two phrases because like the whole face moves. And you see, oh, okay, somebody like drew that frame for frame. But in episode 2, we are back to like static faces with lip flaps, how you would see like normally in animation, and normally that would not be an issue, but the problem is that episode 1 already set the standard.
It no longer feels eerie. It no longer feels unsettling. Like that's the kind of joy of a Junji Ito manga it's quite the style and the pacing. It's all like you don't feel content reading it, and then now that it just looks like a normal anime, you know, it's got the same 3D models moving about the places like Battle Harem 32.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I watched the third one then as well, and it goes a little bit up again. Like, we don't have 3D jank anymore. We are not back to the like rotoscoping, but it at least does its thing. It's probably
It kind of
also
sounds like there's a different studio doing every episode. Like,
It,
I'm
there
not
was a
sure
big
if that's the case, but that seems.
It may as well be. So what I've heard online, this may not be true at all. So like, if I'm wrong, fall out between like episodes, and basically like director and staff and so many people left, and so it basically is a different studio between episodes.
yeah.
Hmm.
There was a whole thread by one of the producers who said, yeah, also the pandemic happened, so we either would have canned the whole thing or like finish what's there. And yeah, they said our decision was to, we have one good episode and then the rest we would just finish as well, to not throw everything out. I mean, I get it, but you could have just released the first episode as like an OVA and just said, yeah, this is our proof of concept of our first thing and next episode happening whenever. But I feel like hastily tagging on like 3 more episodes is like, no, you had something there.
We are just continuing with the trend of Junji Ito never getting a good adaptation.
Yeah.
It's just so funny for this one because like it was teased for so long, and it finally looked like the good one.
Yeah.
And you wait for it for like 5 or 6 years, and this is what you get.
Yeah, it's like, and they even prolonged it once, where it's like, yeah, we need more time to like make this good, and everybody went, yeah, of course, like take all the time you need. But then it comes out and it's like, oh no.
It'd be interesting to see if there's any changes for potential Blu-ray release. I can't imagine they'll reanimate it from the start, because that's sort of too much for a Blu-ray touch-up. But it'd be interesting to see if anything does change.
Oh yeah, I would definitely hope for that to happen. To have like a nice Blu-ray release with all 4 episodes to be somewhat intact.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be like on the level of the first one, but just less jank. That would be nice.
Yeah, I don't. It kind of sucks. The it has to be either really gorgeous and like super ambitious, or it's like complete like frame by frame stop motion, not stop motion, like slideshow. Like why is that gonna be the option? Why can't we have like a nice middle where it's just a good,
Yes,
like
good solid show.
like obviously it sounds like they had like a ton of ambition and that was like, you know, a perfectly like manageable project, and then it got like mismanaged to hell. And like, but like, I don't know, it's whenever you see like that, like anything that looks like that second episode, you know that like some shit went horribly wrong.
Yeah. The thread that the producer did, which he then promptly deleted, but people took screenshots, was that he basically went, oh yeah, there is one person to blame for this. Like, specifically. I could name them. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, okay, we definitely have somebody who's guilty of what happened there. And
yeah.
I have this probably that's why he had to delete it, because like probably some of the high-ups were really miffed about this. But
yeah.
The culprit that people are currently looking at is, forgot his name, but guy who manages the Warner Brothers stuff, because Adult
Zaslav?
Swim, yeah, because Adult Swim is under Warner Brothers, and that's the guy who basically went, oh yeah, we should just can all animation movies, because who the fuck cares? That was the one with the Coyote versus Acme movie that was completely finished and then just thrown out for tax reasons. And apparently he has done that a few times. Like, Jones like, yeah, who cares? Like, go out. And these are people saying like, yeah, the Uzumaki kind of smells like this guy went down. It's like, oh, okay, why is this? Like, taking too many years to animate this? Yeah. no more money, or whatever happened there. Yeah, so definitely there's some behind the scenes fuckery going on here.
It's a shame. Like, I mean, hey, at least we got the first episode, I guess, as like a good thing of Jiu-Jitsu, but like, yeah, doing a 4 episodes in like however many years it's been, like 5 years, and at least like, are they all out now, or is there still another one to come out? I know they were like staggered releases.
I think they're all out now.
They're all out now, yeah. Because I know like the third episode was like marginally better. And then I don't know anything about what the final episode was like. I think most people have dropped off, so I've not seen it like on my timeline at all.
Yeah, I found it interesting that in the French newspapers I get on my desk, there was even like a whole page review of Uzumaki, like for Halloween. And yeah, they're right. They're saying, yeah, it falls off. But something that I hear less people talking about, but I agree with, is that the pacing is a little bit fast for Junji Ito, because his Uzumaki is essentially 3 whole volumes, like packed into one big omnibus. I feel like 6 episodes would be more appropriate to getting the pacing on, because even if the first episode looks great, it has like a very fast pacing. I feel like it could take a little bit more time here and there for things.
Again, if it was maybe slightly less ambitious and was like able to be like a 6 episode, moderately, well animated thing, I think like they probably would have had more success.
Yeah.
Obviously, ambition is good, but like, I don't know. It sounds like whatever the division of Adult Swim was back in 2018 or whatever, is very different to what it ended up being in 2024 to actually finish up the thing. So,
everyone left to go work on Smiling Friends instead.
Yeah.
All the rotoscoping guys ended up on that one episode of Smiling Friends.
Just on a tiny little rant there, I am angry at Germany again, because it's just, I want to watch Smiling Friends. Where can I watch that? You can't. Okay. Can I watch Uzumaki? You can't. Like, I would like to pay for streaming services that give me the thing for legal, or at least in a well-mannered fashion. Why not? Why is there no legal way of watching X thing?
It doesn't matter. You can watch anything for free.
Yeah.
Anything that has ever existed.
They're waiting on the German dub of Smiling Friends to come out.
Oh god, yeah, probably that.
Are they gonna like dub fucking what's his name? Zach?
Zach. Yeah, they get him to.
Yeah, the last one cut out there for me. Hello.
Yeah, I think Tom cut out.
Yeah.
Hello.
He's gone. There you are back again.
Yeah, I'm dropping in and out. I think I've avoided dropping out while talking so far. I was gonna say,
he's communicating from another plane of existence, so
the anti-world again. I'm back. I'm sorry to the viewers. No, I was gonna say they'll just get Zach to learn German so he can voice Charlie for his role.
Nice.
I don't know if there is. I've never heard like a German accent that nasally.
Yeah, good question.
They're gonna have to invent a new type of German guy.
Yeah, we'll find like a Texas German or something to dub it, like
to give that real crunch.
I'm trying to think of like a guy, like a Samoan guy that still speaks like German from the colonial days there.
Oh yeah, good call. Who has some more things?
I'm sure I've got something.
most of what I've got left isn't really like horror themed. Like I finished Mass Effect 1 recently, and I'm most of the
Again?
way through Mass Effect 2.
Again?
Well, you played it when I was at your house.
You played Mass Effect 2, right? And then I
Yeah, I
played it
got
right after you left. So yeah.
yeah.
True.
I'm doing Mass Effect 1. Delightful game that I don't think I could recommend to anyone. I had a banger tweet, it was a banger, it was like 9 likes on it the other day.
Oh yeah.
Which was I was quoting someone sort of went, it's quite funny when you see games try to tackle something political and like they can't write for it because they just don't understand it at all. And like the villain or like whatever is like, oh, we have to enact the Kill Veterans Act, Starve Veterans Act. And I'm like, sat down and thought for a second, I'm like, that's literally a side quest in Mass Effect 1. the Torture Veterans Act. I'm like, oh man, maybe this game is bad.
This game is bad. I love it.
Yeah, my terrible little game that I love and is shit and bad. Yeah, and unlike a lot of like old shooters that I play that I think there's still a lot of appeal to, like something like Painkiller. I it's, every time I revisit Mass Effect, I'm like, oh boy.
This sure was not too long after 9/11 happened.
Yeah, this sure was very 9/11. I think that was the most common thing I said to Boris watching him play. I'm like, this sure is a post 9/11 game.
Yeah, I only played a little bit of Mass Effect many years ago. It was probably in my bachelor's then. It's like 8 years ago probably. And I only remember. I don't even remember much fighting. I probably just noodled around like talking to people.
Yeah,
Probably
that's the
very
best
early.
part.
Yeah.
that's
So
the best part of the game is like the guys, like
You
yeah.
just go and talk to a jellyfish.
the characters that you get to follow for like a long time.
Yeah, so I think that there was always like the main part that I wanted to like get into, like talking, like dialogue. I don't know how good the romances are or not. But yeah, I
No.
hope that is good thing. No, okay, good.
No.
Okay,
I think
note
I
taken.
think the later games do romance better, but the first game, the romance is just like nothing.
Oh, okay.
You can fuck the human lady or the blue lady.
Yay.
All the depressed gay biotic. There you go.
Okay, good. So back to Baldur's Gate I go.
Yeah,
If you wanna fuck everyone, then there's no better game than that.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's even a
I was
mod
gonna say
now for that just romance everyone.
if you want an old game that's a bit crunchy and has like weird romance and poor gameplay, but like great story and characters that carry through into a future 2 sequels, play The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
I like the first Witcher a lot. I think there's a lot more to love there.
Mhm.
It's probably more tedious at times, but I think it's much better at its peaks.
Okay, yeah, that was that would have been one of my questions. Like, I know that Witcher 3 is like the one that everybody loves, but would it be better to start there or to just pick up 1 or 2 beforehand?
I've not played 3, and know a lot of people did start with 3, and I think you can pick up a lot of the world stuff through context.
Mhm.
But I really love Witcher 1, but I know not everyone would like it. I think it's quite tedious.
Mhm.
It's like it can feel a bit like, what do you mean I was supposed to use that potion for this fight? It's too niche. Well, yeah, unfortunately, that's like you just gotta have the right brain worms. But yeah,
Nice. Yeah. Like on my quest the problem is I still have the Baldur's Gate 3 brainworms that they're not going away so fast. That the problem is I have started a lot of more playthroughs. One of them with one dirge resisting, dirge embracing, and now one honor run for shits and giggles. But yeah, there's mods now, like official mod support, and that you can have lots of things that are, how do you say it, quality of life, and even more funny horns for your tieflings, and even more clothing. It's like, oh no, I have more content now. So I'm not
it's
sure.
a good thing they added mod support, because Larian is never doing a Baldur's Gate game again. So
Yeah.
You're just not gonna get one of this level of quality ever again.
Yeah. And with the mod support, they accidentally left like a backdoor open where people found out now how to make quests and maps and everything else. It's like, oh, we can now make our own games in this sort of
in the engine.
in the engine itself.
That's a very much accidentally on purpose kind of decision.
Yeah, it's like, oops, sorry, we left the door open. That Wizards of the Coast was like very mad about that. We should not give people the tools to do their own stuff. Oh, sorry, that happened by accident. So I think people are now remaking Baldur's Gate 2 in the 3 engine.
It's probably going to be. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
But and also like other like smaller projects apparently. So yeah, good for them. We will have a lot more going on in the next few years.
Judging by the time it took for people making that like Fallout London mod or like the Morrowind and Skyrim mod, I think it's going to be a few years before we sort of see big mods really come out.
Yeah.
Because I remember
like New Vegas in Fallout 4.
Yeah. Because
still in development.
Well, Fallout London's the funniest because I had a friend who, in my last year of high school, was doing a lot of early work on that mod, and it just came out this year. So.
Oh, jeez.
But unfortunately, I also found out that if you have mods, your Steam achievements get turned off.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I want to play on
you can manually you can just get like a Steam achievement manager, and then if you meet the conditions, you can just open the program and force the achievement whenever you like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that is my plan for. I hope I'm good enough for an honor run. But yeah, otherwise I'm just still playing with my dolls, with my OCs, doing all the different romances. I have big strong dirge lady who is romancing Karlak, and I have the big gay. Thank you very much for coming to my TED talk. Yeah, so things are going well over there. Oh yeah, why I was saying this, Dragon Age Veilguard has come out. I don't know if that is already going well, good. But yes, some people who love playing Baldur's Gate were like, oh yeah, there's the new other thing that I like. But I'm not sure, because I heard many a thing about this during development. Like, a lot of the, old Agents legacy stuff has been let go.
I mean, that's just BioWare now. That's like a skeleton of a studio.
Yeah, so
just waiting to be closed.
Sorry, I cut out there.
Talking about the new Dragon Age game and how BioWare staff is basically, I don't know, like whoever is there probably wasn't there when the studio was founded.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty obvious statement. BioWare's been around for forever and a half now. Yeah. And
it just kind of comes across as like that studio is just waiting to be closed by EA.
Yeah, well, I didn't like Dragon Age Inquisition, the last one that came out, because it came out at real But back to the word slop again. Real theme of the night. Well, the morning. Sorry, I'm in Europe. The morning. Real theme of the day. Because it's just like a single player MMO. The quests are like so boring. The areas are like so nothing. You've got this like your like silent protagonist feels like even more than usual. This like gormless. Oh, I'm just here. I'm accidentally the chosen one kind of guy. A pretty strong silent protagonist in Dragon Age 1 and its DLC, as well as a mixed reception, but I think an interesting, like, specific protagonist and character in Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age Inquisition just sort of threw it all away for, like I said, essentially a single-player MMO. And it was so devoid of life, I think it killed any excitement for future games.
Okay, I played a little bit of Dragon Age Inquisition on the PS4, but I found like the controls to be a little bit complicated. But yeah, it didn't grab me quite as well as like Baldur's Gate 3 did. Also, I just played Inquisition because I wanted to romance Iron Bull, and no other reason. Because I looked at the romances, like, okay, who's in there? I was like, oh, okay, there's the guy. But yeah, no, then probably either Dragon Age or what is most probably more feasible is like Divinity Original Sin 2. Which I'll probably pick up, because if I get if the Baldur's Gate 3 brainworms disappear, then that one would be the next one, definitely.
Yeah, I think I talked about Divinity Original Sin 2 around our Christmas stream. Man, what a fucking game! I love that game so much.
Yeah, and I'm definitely more up for more Larian stuff. So yeah, big time. Also, what's fun is that they said patch 7 would be the last one, but then when they released it, was like, oh yeah, we're doing more. Okay, good, fine, it's good. Yeah, just sure, keep the content coming. I'm here for that. Do I have anything more, or have we already reached a cozy 90 minutes GARcast?
I think the tight 90 is pretty good. I could be like, I played halfway through Jack and Daxter recently, but I don't really have anything to say on that. Like, I just did that out of a curiosity to be like, no, this game holds up, and I played through half of it. I'm like, that's about what I remembered.
I want to give like a quick shout out because I obviously watched a bunch of horror movies again in like September and October. And I want to say that probably my favorite thing that I watched that wasn't a rewatch, because like most of the best stuff was rewatches, as per usual, is the Stargate, which is the new music video by Blood Incantation, which is effectively like a weird 20-minute folk horror, science fiction horror crossover short movie, basically. It is just like by default immediately the best metal music video that has ever existed, but that's like a really low bar to clear. But yeah, it's on YouTube. It's 20 minutes. It's, I think, really fucking cool.
Yeah, that is still on my list as well, like cool stuff to watch. I mean, if we are doing fun music videos, the new one by Justice is basically just a big love letter to Dirty Pair. They just going on with the animation there, so I'm really happy to see like good old 2D French animation going where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I can do a quick roundup of random things I watched over the last month or so. I'll have it on record. I watched 3 more Evil Bong movies. None of them are good. The fourth one especially is like the worst of them.
Are you gonna do the remaining 17 of them?
No, I was like, if they were all like the kind of, like 1 through 3 are bad, but like they're just like bad stoner comedies. From like 4, it seems like they just become like Jeff Dunham specials. where it's like just like shock racism and like it's like okay,
think
I
about
don't.
think about the YouTube thumbnail. I watched all 38 evil Bong films, and you do like the hog face.
Yeah. Yeah, like the most liked review I have on Letterboxd is for the first Evil Bong movie, where it's me saying, "Oh, there are 7 of these." It's got like a fucking 110 likes or something.
Oh,
I was like,
nice.
I'm a poser because I've seen only the first one, so I'm gonna at least try and watch some of them.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I tapped out at 4. Like 1, they weren't interestingly bad enough, and 2, like I'm just not watching, not watching past there.
Yeah.
I've watched more than most people who would have seen the first one have. On a positive, like kind of DIY, kind of slop horror thing, I watched a bunch of Polonia Brothers movies, like micro budget, DIY, creature feature and horror stuff. Those guys did some insanely good stuff. It's a shame that like because one of them passed away in like 2009 or something, and the remaining brother just kind of makes like generic shark movie streaming slop now, and he's also like a lot of his movies seem to have like AI posters and stuff now, which is kind of a shame. But like when they were like in their prime, they were doing like some of the best like DIY shit I've seen. Yeah, those guys do good shit. What else did I see? I watched some Tobe Hooper stuff, kind of filling in the gaps now. Not the best one of them I saw, but like I watched his final movie, which came out in 2013. It's kind of weird to think there was a Tobe Hooper movie in 2013, but it's also like partially in Arabic because it's set in like Dubai or like in the Emirates, and it's like Tobe Hooper doing like Arabic Silent Hill. it's a weird old movie. I wouldn't say it's good, but it is interesting. I also saw the Mangler the other day, which is full Tobe Hooper horror comedy stuff with Robert Englund in it, just hamming it up.
Is that the one that was written by Stephen King?
Yes, yeah. It's got a killer laundry press that could have been designed by Giga. It's a that's a fun one, yeah. Shout out to Crass Pants, who put me on to the To Be Original Terror Train 2, the remake to the To Be Original Terror Train remake, or the sequel to the original Terror. It's the least essential movie of all time, but surprisingly actually quite fun. If you ever find yourself on Tubi and need something to watch, Terror Train 2 is a good time. What else is on here?
I don't know if we even get Tubi here.
We've just got it here. I've been using like I don't think UK Tubi has much. It doesn't have like the American stuff. That's where you get the real juicy slop. But like, hopefully one day we'll get it to match. What's something else?
Looking at Ellie's recently watched. I see you logged Free Guy recently, which is a good horror film.
God, I watched that on fucking TV at like 10 p.m. or something. I watched like half of it. And it was extremely a movie you watch on TV at 10 p.m. because there's nothing else on. Yeah, that is like maybe the worst movie of the century, potentially.
Yeah,
I hate Ryan Reynolds so much.
Vindicating me.
I hate Ryan Reynolds. I hate Sean Levy. I've grown to despise Taika Waititi's face. Why has he become a homunculus, dude? Yeah. On a good note, probably maybe the best thing I saw bar Penda's Fen is The Grace of Death, which is a French like zombie movie set in a vineyard. Very like kind of environmental horror, anti-fascist horror. Yeah, really, really good shit. Like one of those like European horror movies that is like 50% really gorgeous countryside and 50% people being turned to mulch by like zombies. So really good combo.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I've got one that's not that recent, but I think it kind of fits. I watched A Boy and His Dog, which is the film that sort of went on to inspire of what Fallout became.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a short wee thing, and I can't pretend it was like an incredible like old film, like this incredible like apocalypse media thing. It's like an interesting little proof of concept. Looking at like other reviews of it at the time, a lot of people seem to have come down quite hard on it as this as like a quite misogynistic film. And I don't think I'm willing to give it a little bit of leeway on it. Like it's the post-apocalypse it presents doesn't treat women particularly well, but I think the way it has this post-apocalyptic and then this a society that's trying to sort of maintain the pre-apocalypse both abuse women in these like different but quite similar ways. I think is I'm willing to give it a bit of the doubt on that one, and I think that's kind of where there's like it's maybe worth watching. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I think I watched it with dear friend Norwegian Yellow Cheese, just regular. Mostly because it's set in 2024. Like I think was why we watched it.
I have one because it was one of those like you said, Ali, list of why haven't we watched this already?
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Finally, there's like
there's
10
a
years too late.
non-homunculus Taika Waititi.
There's one more. Yeah, that was super fun. I had a really good time with that, and
Yeah.
I also have started the TV series now, a streaming series, which also has a really good vibe about it. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I hear
that
good things about the
found
show.
it. Yeah. So I might keep that on with all the different series I'm watching because I've quite a few to keep track of those. But yeah, good stuff. I love we're werewolves, not swearwolves. They're precious. These guys.
Well, that was quite funny because a lot of people, I think that was that werewolf role was sort of Reese Darby's big breakout hit. Now he's just in American shows all the time, and he's like, same with Taika. He's no longer in New Zealand stuff. It's like, oh well,
there he is.
You got big.
Okay, good. And if I'm not playing Baldur's Gate, I can now go back to my games because I was not playing video games on the train for several weeks now because I had a big artist convention that was going on, so I had to draw in the train. But I started Ghost Trick, and that is a good, fun game. I'm really happy about it.
How was that? Because the original is obviously a DS game, and I'm a little curious to see how it's sort of been translated to one screen.
I think it works quite well because I'm not noticing that it's supposed to have two screens. You can just hang yourself from point to point with like your controller. And you can, I think just move the screen around to like look around. But other than that, I'm very fine. It goes absolutely well, super smooth. So I'm playing that on Steam Deck in the train as well. Yeah, so Ghost Trick, good time. It's by the same lads of Ace Attorney, and you feel that in the dialogue. It has some really fun characters running around. There's some intrigue. Like I'm really interested, like how this will all go out, and it all plays in one big night, where your protagonist has died, and he wants to find out why, what, and how. So yeah, I'm having a good time with Ghost Trick. Maybe you've seen it on Twitter. I made a big Excel sheet of like, okay, games that I have to play, sort by game length. I should get to that probably. And yeah, Ghost Trick is on top of that. and good times. I'm really looking forward to it, to play some more now that I've had 4 weeks of pause on that.
That's, I think, a good spooky little cap off.
Yeah. Nice. So I think we have a neat little GARcast to give to people.
Yeah.
And we will definitely meet for the year in review as usual. When it comes out, we shall find out. As soon as my editing process is going. And yeah, I'm happy to have all of you all again here for like a little round.
I like hanging out with my friends. It's nice, actually.
Yeah.
It's nice when you can dial in from the other dimension.
Yeah, I miss sleeping on everyone's couch. It was quite... I like, it's like, oh, I can like wake up and be a little goblin and then like watch films with them. It's so nice.
Yeah. I was really happy to see you as well. You guys came around here for all the good times.
Yeah, we watched the Olympics opening ceremony. We played some Magic.
Yeah. Went to eat some ramen. The good stuff. Okay, then I think that was our little in-between episode of Spooky Season and what has been going on in everybody's life. And see you all around soon. And we keep the episodes coming as soon as we get all of us together and things are rolling.
Keep on tracking.
I will be back in Europe at some point. And we can probably organize something else then.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, then that was us all again, and have a good one. Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.